Howdy, y'all. Now, this is going to be an idea on how to turn Beyonce away from being a feminist. Right? That's the general thesis. That's the general purpose of this. Right? Now, I picked Beyonce because I believe someone listed her in Forbes magazine as the most influential, powerful, and wealthy pop star or famous person or whatever Forbes magazine called her. Right? Even more so than her husband. I believe, I forget, Jay-Z is her husband. I believe that's her husband. Now, I like Beyonce because she's from Houston. And I'm from Houston. And, she's not a bad looker. I mean, I'm not so much into her music. I'm not sure if I've ever heard any of her songs. But, I will say that she stands by her statement that she's a feminist. So, on to me merging together another video with this, and I'll try to be quick. Remember, this is off the cuff. Alright. So, Kaylee Kuko, once upon a time, said, like a few years ago, 3 years ago, I won't go into the reasons why she said this, but that she wasn't a feminist. And then she had to backtrack on that and clarify. Around the same time, like 3-4 years ago, it was popular for a lot of wealthy, high status and powerful women to claim that they weren't feminist. And then all of a sudden in the last year, they've had to backtrack. And I won't go into the reasons for that either. But I think in the grand scheme of things, what I meant for them personally and interpersonally and socially speaking, when in the grand scheme of things, the reason why these women backtracked was not only for their personal financial gain. They wanted to make sure that they weren't going to be harmed by women who falsely identified themselves as feminists. Because most women aren't pretty. Like Miss Misanthropist points out. Most feminists, and as Turd Flinging Monkey points out, most feminists aren't very pretty. They don't have very much power, traditionally speaking. And so a lot of women by default are feminist. A lot of average women by default are feminist. Until they get married, like Turd Flinging Monkey points out. Or someone else pointed out. I forget who pointed it out. But okay, so Kaylee Kuko said that she liked making dinner for her husband, who's like a tennis player or whatever. She's the primary breadwinner. But she still likes making food for her husband. Well, good for her. Who gives a shit? It's America, free country, whatever. What happens behind closed doors is no one's business. But she still had to backtrack. And she backtracked for the sort of, as Stardust would put it, the Borg-Consensus. She backtracked because it was in the best interest of not only herself financially, but of women in general, for a famous woman to claim to be a feminist. And Taylor Swift did the same thing. Taylor Swift said that she wasn't a feminist, and then a few years later, backtracked and claimed to be a feminist. Now, I looked up famous, beautiful feminists. And actually, most of the women listed in any of the famous, beautiful feminist listings are movie stars or models or singers. And they actually, their quotes are that they're actually humanist, not feminist. So the feminists are already lying there. But that's sort of the Borg-Consensus thing. Right, women agree that it's all in their best interest. And it goes back to me talking about the bros before hoes idea. And pardon me. Excuse me, that is bad. And I'm just going to leave that in because I'm being a dick to y'all today. We need to have a bros before hoes sort of a bro consensus. Right, which is what feminists claim has always existed. I believe that Katy Perry said once upon a time that she was not a feminist, but she believed in the strength of women. And as Sargon of Akkad pointed out, all men appreciate strong women. Who doesn't appreciate strong people? Just look at his review of the Aliens movie. Yes, all men love strong women. Like the one scene that he cites, that Sargon cites in Aliens, where Vasquez, a sort of masculine female, is questioned by Hudson, the Bill Paxton character, who's the Joker, He goes, Vasquez, have you ever been mistaken for a man? And she responds, no, Hudson, have you? And then the one guy goes, kick ass, Vasquez, kick ass. Yeah. And then another scene in that movie, Ripley, the Sigourney Weaver character, asks the sergeant, is there anything I can do to help? And the sergeant says, I don't know. Is there? And when she demonstrates that she can operate a loader, he is shocked, and his soldiers are laughing behind him because he was giving her the misogyny crap and was proven wrong. And he goes, well, okay, well, you can load that stuff on the bird. You know, men have no problem being proven wrong when it comes to strong women. And I believe Katy Perry has a little bit too much integrity, a little too much strength of character to backtrack on that. All right? So that's the merging. All right? So we lost Kaylee Kuko. Kaylee Kuko said she wasn't a feminist. She had to backtrack on that, take her words back. Taylor Swift, who's very popular and wealthy and powerful, we lost her. She backtracked on that. Right? But we're probably not going to lose Katy Perry. Now, our goal should be to turn Beyonce. Right? And I believe Jay-Z sees it. I believe Jay-Z, any rapper sees it. Any rapper sees it and has seen it. Right? And I appreciate that Beyonce and Jay-Z have both worked very hard to get where they are. I mean, that's relative. I mean, they've dedicated a lot of their life and time and effort. I won't go into the physics of working hard. But, yeah, I won't go into that. That's a joke. But, yes. So they've both dedicated a lot of their lives to get where they are. And they've exploited certain opportunities, like Captain Picard did, to their advantage. And we should not slight them on that. But I think our next goal should be to turn Beyonce. And turning Beyonce would be just as easy, if improbable, would be just as easy. And here's the joke, okay? And I'm glad y'all hung in there with me. To turn Beyonce, all we'd have to do is lock Beyonce in a room with 20 to 30 social justice warriors for about 3 to 6 hours. And after 2 hours, they would get through their sycophanting, if that's a word. And she would actually have to talk to them and interact with them. And then she would realize how insane and intolerable these people are. I guarantee you after 4 hours, they would start trying to tell her to check her privilege. And she would just go nuts. She'd go nuts. Anyone who's had to put up with these social justice warriors, especially modern day ones, oh my goodness. I imagine Beyonce would be so pissed. Ms. Z? Yeah, I don't know how you would refer to those people. But, Beyonce, what pronoun do you prefer? Beyonce, what the fuck are you talking about? Pronoun do I prefer? What my name's Beyonce. You can call me Ms. Beyonce. I'm a woman. I prefer her, she. Yeah, like, and that would be just the beginning. Just the beginning. And then once Beyonce copped any bit of an attitude, any bit of a sort of, what are you dumb fucks talking about attitude, they would start going on the check your privilege. Check your privilege, Beyonce, check your privilege. And then within 6 hours, it would take less than a day to turn Beyonce away from the social justice warrior crowd. And I think that's how, somehow we should try to work towards that. If there's any MGTOWs out there influential, we can sort of finagle that sort of meeting between Beyonce and social justice warriors. Yeah, lock her in a room. Lock her in a room. And again, any human being from Houston would be like, social justice? We got more important things to worry about than pronoun agreement. And by pronoun agreement, I'm not talking writing. I'm talking someone agreeing with the pronouns that are used on them. Yeah, there's bigger problems in the world than pronoun agreement, social justice warriors. And once Beyonce's made perfectly clear that that's what these social justice warriors are concerned about, what they're concerned trolling, she'll drop them. she'll drop them. She'll drop them just like Katy Perry did, just like Kaylee Cuoco did, and just like Taylor Swift did. And even though Kaylee Cuoco and Taylor Swift had to backtrack, I guarantee you when things change, Taylor Swift will drop feminism again. Kaylee Cuoco will drop feminism again. Because, yeah, women have the right to vote. Women are entitled to equal pay. If they don't get it, it's their choice. And yeah, Beyonce makes more than her husband. Beyonce makes more than her husband. She's the primary breadwinner. Yeah. Hello? Are we going to apply equal pay there? Yeah, oh, that'll probably get a hamster spinning somewhere. There's a hamster going nuts right now, figuring that one out. But Beyonce is making more than her husband. Jay-Z is actually the one who has an unequal pay lawsuit by feminist math. All right. Well, thank you again for hanging in there on my day off. And I hope you guys have a nice day. And always remember to go your own way. Yours truly, Ed.